Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, there were two children called Hansel and Gretel. They lived in a small cottage at the edge of the forest with their father and stepmother. Hansel and Gretel's father was a woodcutter. He was very poor and the family didn't have much food to eat. The day came when there was hardly any food left at all.
"What are we going to do?"
said the father. The stepmother, who didn't like Hansel and Gretel, said, "We must take the children into the thickest part of the forest and leave them there. There are just too many mouths to feed."
"We can't do that,"
protested the father, for he loved his children dearly. "We must, or we'll all die of hunger," screeched his wife. "The children are going, and that is that." From their bedroom, Hansel and Gretel overheard the conversation. Gretel burst into tears. "What do we do? I'm scared." "Don't worry, I'll look after you," Hansel said. When the parents went to bed, Hansel crept out of the house. All around lay a little white pebbles that shone like coins in the silvery moonlight. He filled his pockets with them and then went back to bed. The next early morning, the stepmother hurried Hansel and Gretel out of the bed. "Come on, children, we're going to the forest to chop wood," she told them. With a heavy heart, the woodcutter led his children into the forest. As they walked along, Hansel dropped the pebbles from his pockets onto the path. When they reached the middle of the forest, the woodcutter said,
"Wait here. We will be back as soon as we finish chopping wood."
Hansel and Gretel waited all day, but their father and stepmother didn't come back. Soon, it was dark among the thick trees. Gretel was frightened. "Don't worry, sis. We will find our way home," Hansel comforted his sister. When the moon rose high in the sky, the white pebbles that Hansel had left on the path lit up. He grabbed his sister's hands. "Come on, Gretel. The pebbles will show us the way home." When Hansel and Gretel returned, their father was relieved to see them back again. But their stepmother was furious. Before long, they had a very little food again. "Tomorrow, we will take the children deeper into the forest. They must not find their way home," the stepmother cried. This time, as they were led deep into the forest, Hansel left a trail of breadcrumbs. their parents didn't return from chopping wood, Hansel said, "Don't worry, we just need to follow the breadcrumbs I dropped on the path. They will lead us home." But when the moon came up, Hansel and Gretel could not see any crumbs. "The birds must have eaten them all," whispered Hansel. Frightened and hungry, Hansel and Gretel curled up under the tree and went to sleep. "Why did they do this to us?" Gretel cried, waiting anxiously for daylight. The next morning, they wandered through the forest. After a while, they came to a clearing and a little cottage. "Hansel, look!" cried Gretel. "That cottage is made out of sweets and bread." The children were so hungry, they grabbed some sweets from the house and ate it. It was a dream come true. No one ever wondered why are there sweets in the deep of the forest. Just then, the door opened and an old woman hobbled out. "Come in, children," she said, smiling. "I've got plenty more food in here." Hansel and Gretel know that this is odd, but their tummy growling, and they followed the old woman into the cottage. They can see lots of fancy food there, and ate it all happily. After the delicious meal, she showed them 2 little beds and asked them to rest here for tonight. When Hansel and Gretel woke up from their nap, the witch grabbed Hansel and locked him in a cage. She set Gretel to work for chores, cleaning and cooking huge meals to fatten up Hansel. Weeks passed. Every morning, the witch went up to the cage and asked Hansel to hand his finger to her. "Hold out your finger, boy. I want to see it. Are you fat enough to eat?" Hansel was afraid and would hold out an old chicken bone instead. One day, the witch grew impatient. "I can't wait any longer," she screeched. "I'm going to cook Hansel now." Gretel was terrified. "We'll bake some bread to eat with your brother. Go and check if the oven is hot enough." Grabbing Gretel's arm, the wicked witch pushed her roughly towards the open oven door. Grinning horribly, she licked her cracked lips. She was planning on eating Gretel too, and couldn't wait for her delicious meal. Gretel guessed the witch's trick. "I'm too big to fit in here," she said. "Oh, you silly girl," laughed the witch. "Even I can fit in here." The witch put her head into the oven to prove she was right. Gretel gave her a giant push, and the witch fell right inside. She quickly shut the oven door. The witch slammed the door and screamed. She asked Gretel for her mercy, but Gretel was too afraid to let her out. And that was the end of the witch, who loved to eat children. "Hansel, the witch is dead!" cried Gretel as she unlocked her brother's cage and released her brother. As Hansel and Gretel made their way out of the house, they found full of sparkling jewels and gold coins at the wicked witch's bedroom. They stuffed their pocket with treasure and ran out. "Come on, Gretel," cried Hansel happily. "Let's find a place for us to sleep and eat decent food." They run and run until they find their way to the village. "Aren't we supposed to be back to our own house?" asked Gretel. "No," I won't let our parent put us back to the forest again. And I will take care of you. Don't worry, sis, Hansel said. But on the way to the market, they found an old man looking so poor, begging on the corner. Father, is that you? Asked Hansel. The man turned his face to Hansel and was so overjoyed to see them.
My children, letting you alone in the forest was my big mistake. I'm so glad to see you. Let's go home, dear. I will take care of you. Their father explained that their stepmother had died while they were gone and they had nothing to fear anymore. As they reached their house, Hansel and Gretel showed their father the jewels and coins. They will be poor no longer, and from then on, they were never hungry again. The end.
Okay guys, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Don't forget to ring the bell. Comment down below please. And oh yeah, one more thing. Stay tuned for the new video. Bye!